I'm Jason Carter. Physical optimization defines my life. The day I was born, doctors nearly killed me with medical malpractice. They said I'd never walk. I've been proving them wrong for 35 years. It's easier than you think to obtain super optimal health. I've devoted my life to it, and with my help, you can too. I'm Jason Carter, and this is Enzymental. And welcome to Enzymental. I'm Jason Carter, and today I'm going to talk about adrenal fatigue and its connection to cholesterol. Cortisol, your stress hormone, like many hormones in the body, is made from cholesterol. Cortisol, as I've said, is a right-now hormone. Sex hormones, which are also made from cholesterol, are an example of a non-essential hormone, or what I would call a tomorrow hormone. It's a hormone that's not needed for surviving the day right now. It's very common to find excessively low cholesterol in someone who has just endured a brutal stress response, like a car accident, because in someone like this, the body has consumed all the available cholesterol to produce the necessary cortisol. And you will hear me say this endlessly, so here it is again. Low cholesterol is never a good thing. Cholesterol only becomes bad cholesterol when it oxidizes, becoming the yellow, waxy, congealed mass that we typically refer to as arterial plaque. Cholesterol becomes oxidized from a lack of antioxidants in the diet, like CoQ10, which we've discussed, vitamin C, and also vitamin E, among others. And also, systemic nutritional deficiencies can cause cholesterol oxidation also. This is also due to the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which we get from our overconsumption of sugar and carbs. There's much more to cover regarding blood sugar and the adrenals, but for now, think about this. Cholesterol is one of the body's best purifiers, exhibiting antibiotic, antiviral, and anti-inflammatory properties. One common reason for high cholesterol is the presence of an active live infection, something which likely began in the gut. This active live infection will also irritate the adrenals and contribute to a prolonged sensation of fatigue. So that's one thing most people don't really think about when they think about adrenal fatigue and its relationship to cholesterol. You likely have high cholesterol because the body is trying to rid itself of something that doesn't belong there, like a virus. Abnormally high cortisol levels from chronic stress also depress the body's production of the hormone DHEA. It stands for dehydroepiandrosterone. We just call it DHEA. You need DHEA to make many essential hormones, including estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and high cortisol levels can interfere with your sexual hormones and libido. Additionally, excessively elevated cortisol levels increase blood sugar levels, and also, as I said, the bad cholesterol, otherwise known as the low-density lipoprotein or LDL form of cholesterol, and this in turn will boost the risk of type 2 diabetes and coronary heart disease. Combined with high levels of insulin, which rise as cortisol rises, cortisol promotes the formation of fat around the belly, that adipose tissue that sticks around the belly. Excess cortisol can also interfere with the body's production of the active thyroid hormone, T3. So all of these negative effects of cortisol are really just the first initial stage of adrenal exhaustion. Chronically elevated levels of cortisol are not healthy at all, but it is the low levels of cortisol that characterize what we typically see with adrenal exhaustion, in which the body's primary defenses against stress are no longer there. Cortisol helps to maintain both normal blood pressure and blood sugar levels, and when you don't make enough cortisol because you've used all of it up and you've exhausted your system, low blood pressure can leave you feeling dizzy, and low blood sugar can also lead to crashes and irritability. So over the long run, adrenal exhaustion will actually weaken your body's responses to bacterial, viral, fungal, and parasitic infections, and it can also precipitate chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, among other conditions. So what can you do to support healthy cholesterol and healthy cortisol production, and consequently keep the adrenals healthy? Your diet has a very important part in your stress management approach. A poor diet with a lack of nutrients can increase your susceptibility to stress by causing fatigue and irritability, and this is even more likely to happen to people who are eating lots of meals away from home, even skipping meals, as I've talked about, or eating on the run. And just about all of us today, we live such a crazy, hectic life. We all do a few of these things once in a while. So here's a couple things you can do to help the adrenals. First of all, as we've talked about, reduce or eliminate caffeine. And that's going to be hard to do because caffeine is very addictive, and it's going to be a long, slow detox process to get caffeine and your dependence on it out of your system. Limit your consumption of sugar, and this especially refers to highly refined sugar and refined carbohydrates. Again, that would be things like sweets, pizza, pasta, chips, crackers, cookies, alcohol. Processed sugar robs the body of many vitamins and minerals essential for proper body and mind function, and a lack of these essential vitamins and minerals can induce anxiety and inability to cope with stressful situations. Try to avoid eating damaged fats. Now, fat is a necessary nutrient for health, but there is what we call bad fats, and these would include things like processed fats, hydrogenated oils, typically what you find in fried foods. These fats are harmful to mental health because they reduce circulation to the brain and heart, and this prevents the brain from getting adequate oxygen, which means thinking becomes sluggish and very difficult. And of course, if you can, you want to try to avoid alcohol, because alcohol, as we know, is a powerful depressant drug that inevitably increases stress. What you want to try to include in your diet as much as possible is a nutrient-dense diet based around fresh fruits, vegetables, some whole grains. I'm not really a fan of too much grains. Also fermented dairy products and grass-fed meats. Helping and supporting the adrenals is a lifetime occupation right there, and a lifetime undertaking, because there are so many things today that hurt our adrenals. So as I've said before, one of the easiest things you can do to begin helping your adrenals is make sure you are eating regularly. Don't skip meals. Try to eat something every 2 to 3 hours while you're awake, and try to focus on smaller meals and meals that you eat more frequently throughout the day. So you're eating more frequently, but you're eating smaller amounts of food rather than larger amounts of food. And this will actually help to really stabilize your blood sugar long term, and that will bring cortisol down, which will free up cholesterol to be made into more longer term hormones for long term maintenance. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on Enzymental. Stay healthy.